What is up, everyone? 1 hour before kickoff, we are here to hang out with y'all, help you out with some fantasy, and probably set our own lineups too, because we also have our own debacles. Isn't that right?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I've got all my leagues currently scattered across the screen that is my computer. Man, I've got way too many leagues this year. I said that last year, but the point remains. I've got a lot going on with fantasy. CD Lamb, if you're questionable, please don't be.
He is expected to play.
Yeah, as Keenan Allen is still doubtful, and that is why I have trust issues. Holy cow. This is
Keenan Allen is why I have trust issues, to be honest. Remember when he said on Thursday I start him and they got like one catch like 2 years ago?
Well, Keenan Allen has been like a top 10 receiver in fantasy football, give or take, for the last 6 years. I'll give him a break on the one time he told you to start him and he didn't pan out. The one player that I have beef with over a statement like that was T.Y. Hilton like 2-3 years ago, whenever he was coming back off the hamstring and Frank Reich was like, nah, he's playing, but he's not. He probably went like 10 snaps. And I was like, fuck.
He's here, but
yeah, he's here.
Alvin Kamara is ranked 8th. Does that mean Taysom Hill's ranked like 3rd?
Basically,
Taysom Hill's ranked 7 this week in tight ends. That's wild.
Tight end's the worst position in fantasy football, and it always has been. It's just being exacerbated this year by the fact that nobody wants to catch balls besides Travis Kelsey and Mark Andrews. The thing is, Taysom Hill's like top 3 in tight end rankings in a half-point PPR or some shit, and he has like 1 reception on the year. I don't understand. Oh, James Conner is out? Wow.
Yeah, it's Benjamin week, 100%.
Am I really? Well, let me see if Benjamin's on the waivers, because I could start Braxton Berrios in this league. It's a weird one. It's like no PPR, points for return yards. He put up 19.6 last week on 1 reception for -1 yards and a carry for 15 yards. He's the punt returner. Man, this sucks.
Fair, I guess. I hate it here.
Having 2 flex spots is bullshit. The biggest start sit of this week that I've been thinking about, because I have this in one of my leagues, and one of my buddies actually texted me about it earlier. I told him he should probably just hedge the bet and go ahead and start, because it's Geno Smith versus Kirk Cousins. And I don't think there's many wrong answers to this question, if that makes sense. But I told him I would probably lean going. I'm going to lean Kirk, just because I think Miami's defense with Skylar Thompson at quarterback is going to be really going through it this week. But
Skylar Thompson.
I just, because Geno's really good. Arizona's defense isn't that good. And Geno's outscoring him a lot on the season. But I don't know. I like Kirk this week, if that makes sense. I've been looking at the experts online, and like, if you look at who should I start, Geno's the darling of this week. But if you're looking at just positional rankings, Kirk, for some reason, is like ranked 2 to 5 spots higher than Geno, like across the board consensus. So it's weird. I'm leaning Kirk, but I understand Geno. So I'm not fully sure on what I should do with it.
Those are always the toughest questions, aren't they? It's just like,
yeah,
I have these 2 guys, and I don't know which one I want to start. They're both great.
No, exactly. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Because in this league, Kirk, he's 20.6.
I still could over Taysom Hill at 7 this week, but
Geno Smith is 24.5 in terms of rank. And I'm looking at sportingnews.com. They have the quarterback rankings right here. Obviously, your top 5. Patrick Mahomes is ranked number 6 against the Bills, and Allen's ranked number 1. That doesn't make much sense to me, but go off, I guess.
No.
Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson 2 and 3, as they should be damn near every week. Kyler and Brady follow up. Kirk is 7th this week. And then we've got Geno all the way at 14 for quarterbacks, right in front of Daniel Jones, right before Russell Wilson and Jimmy Garoppolo. That's kind of weird, actually. I think Geno should be right behind Herbert at 12, personally. Running backs, your top 10, you're starting them. It doesn't matter. This week, ranking-wise, it gets really weird past number 10 because your top 10, you've got Saquon, you've got Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler, McCaffrey, Mixon, Kamara, Jones, Stevenson. So after 9, it gets like we're in the twilight zone. So from your 10 spot all the way to number 20, I'm going to read the names. And these are all guys that shouldn't have been top 20 at your drafting spots, but for some reason they're here now. Number 10, Ramandre Stevenson. Number 11, Kenneth Walker III. 12, Eno Benjamin. 13, Devin Singletary. 14, Melvin Gordon. 15, James Robinson. 16, Jeff Wilson. 17, A.J. Dillon. 18, J.K. Dobbins. 19, Montgomery. 20, Raheem Mostert. The running back position is broken. If you went early running back, I'm so sorry. Like, I usually go back-to-back running back, and in the leagues that I went back-to-back running back, I've been very fortunate for the fact that I haven't been decimated all to hell. I have a lot of Deandre Swift, so that hurts. But I also have a lot of Ramandre Stevenson. And I have a really weird amount of Melvin Gordon. I've never drafted him, but I got him in like a couple of leagues this year because I was like, there's nothing else here. But even Darrell Henderson's in the top 23 in front of a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Zeke Elliott is 24th in the running back rankings. Breece Hall at 26 actually surprises me. I think Breece, even against the Packers, should have a decent day. That's crazy. ETN 28. So this is telling me that Travis Etienne is 13 spots worse than James Robinson on the week. I'm not believing that.
Yeah,
that was just standard. That was just standard PPR. Things get a bit more interesting. PPR, the one player that jumps by a large margin. Nobody really, actually. Nope. It's pretty much chalk, which is crazy. Nick Chubb at 4 in standard's a little weird to me. I think Chubb is up. The Steelers sucked, so what can I say? McCaffrey jumps 3 spots to like number 4, so I guess that works out. Wide receiver ranking is in standard. Never look at those because if you're playing a receiver in a standard league, you're going to start 2 and then just pray to God the running back falls in the end zone. I'll give you one chance to guess the number 1 ranked receiver in PPR this week.
Cooper Kupp.
As it has been for the last 15 weeks, yes, Cooper Kupp is the number 1 ranked receiver in PPR scoring or projected PPR scoring for the week of fantasy football. Tyreek Hill at number 3 for the Dolphins is fucking crazy to me. Like, at least I know the person that's throwing Justin Jefferson the ball. Debo at 5, sweet. Mike Evans, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, Skylar Thompson is not going to sustain 2 top 10 fantasy football finishes at receiver this week. And if he does,
no,
I guess I'm going to have to eat crow. I'm starting Tyreek in 1 league because I have to. Like, gun to my head. It's like, yep, Tyreek's on your roster. I'm like, okay, here we go. But I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy at all. And Tyreek kind of produced whenever Skylar Thompson was in. The only hope that they could have for 2 top 10 fantasy football finishes would be Mike McDaniel pulls a rabbit out of his hat and just says, fuck it, we're going for it. But I love Jalen Waddle. 9 seems high. Tyreek Hill is explosive, but 3 seems really high.
Yeah. I mean, apparently my connection is not very good today. I'm not too sure why. The second I hit that button, it just started to explode.
Oh, no.
Hold down the fort for like 2 minutes. Be right back.
Okay, cool. I got it. So, welcome to the solo show for the time being. Start sits questions are always interesting. As I went over it last week, start your studs. There's no need to get cute. If you're in a pinch and you need to win bad, go with your gut. Obviously, I tend to try to go with my gut most of the times that I'm figuring out who the hell to start in these leagues. If you have to start a tight end that's not named Mark Andrews or Travis Kelsey, good luck. Darren Waller being on the bye helps me because Darren Waller's been killing me all year. My favorite options the thing is tight end after the first couple of weeks, the position is it's totally dry unless you're in like a 4 to 6 team league. Obviously Andrews, Kelsey, Kittle, Higbee, and that's about it for weekly starts. You could still look for players such as Dallas Goedert, Gerald Everett, and Njoku are all players that I could comfortably start on a weekly basis. Because the thing is, at tight end, we're not just looking at players that are going to be able to have the talent, because that's the thing about tight end. As a tight end, you have to play multiple facets of the game. You're not just running routes every down, unless you're Kyle Pitts and not getting targets. Most tight ends tend to double down as an extra blocker a lot of the time for their teams, i.e., George Kittle to start the year with no Trent Williams. But with the situations that we're looking at, there's a lot of players that are talented enough to carry a load on their offenses. And let's swap these spots. There we go. Back to normal.
We can have a normal conversation with normal human beings.
But the thing about tight ends,
conversation is like giving
no sweat. But the thing about tight ends currently in the NFL is I don't care how talented the dude is. I just need a role in the offense. It's what made Tyler Conklin so tantalizing whenever Joe Flacco was quarterback. Because you could have the most talented tight end in football, like just intangibly skill-wise. And if he's not getting targets, he's ranked 10th in the rankings because it's Kyle Pitts. But if you're getting peppered with targets and you're just producing because the quarterback seems to like you, you're going to be ranked higher. There's a reason why Travis Kelsey and Mark Andrews are the number one fantasy tight end options, because they're not tight ends. They can block like tight ends. They line up at the tight end spot. They are targeted like wide receivers. And that's why they go in the first. That's where they go in the first to third round, point blank. And on the year, we don't have any other examples of a tight end that is effectively just a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. Because Kyle Pitts could line up at wideout, and I would not be surprised because he's that talented. And George Kittle is killer after the catch. But if the team isn't utilizing your tight end as that wide receiver role in terms of just targets and just target share, it's really hard to figure out who you're going to start weekly. So you have to either bet on matchup, bet on quarterback, or bet on usage. And that's a mixed bag because a lot of the time, certain teams, like you look at the Bengals, Hayden Hurst will get a lot of work based upon the fact that they're going to have to choose who's going to get the points. Because are you cooler with Jamar Chase kicking your team's ass, or will you live with Hayden Hurst dinking and dunking you? And so that's the biggest thing with tight end. I haven't started a tight end confidently in most leagues since I had Travis Kelsey 3 years ago in a league that I was in. Tight end is that big of a crapshoot. And in that
that's
league,
what I did this year in Work League. I was first overall, and I took AT, so that hasn't worked out too well. But when it came around to me, my first pick of the third round was Travis Kelsey because I was like, I'm just going to win the tight end spot every week. There's no reason for me not to. Kelsey in the third round.
Did Andrews go before Kelsey in that draft, or was it just everybody punted?
No, Kelsey was the first one off the board. Yeah, Kelsey was the first one off the board.
Travis Kelsey at any point after the turn in the second round is a steal. That is how good he is. Let me just look at the points he's putting up per week in a full point PPR league. Let's see.
My man, put up 4 touchdowns on Monday, so
Those it was like 33 points.
yeah.
Yeah, 33.5 on 25 yards. Travis Kelsey, even in a bad week, is better than the tight end 3 on most weeks. Like his worst week of the year, he had 10.1. He scored a touchdown in every game besides week 2 because Derwin James is that guy. Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's averaging 22.4 points per fantasy per matchup, which is insane. And number 2 at the position, Mark Andrews, is at 18.2. So unless you're facing Mark Andrews, Travis Kelsey could give you about a 10-point edge in any matchup that you're playing in as of right now. And you're just not going to find that anywhere else besides maybe Cooper Kupp last year. But even then, how do I find the rankings? Scoring leaders. Here we go. Okay, so quarterback. Can we go season? I don't want to. So 2022 season. Your top point scorers at quarterback for the year are Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, or Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Carson Wentz, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff. What? It's insanity. Yep. Running back. So now we have top scores at running back from 1 to 3. There's a discrepancy of so Chubb's scoring 0.5 less than Eckler per game. Saquon is scoring 0.1 less than Nick Chubb. And Josh Jacobs is scoring 0.7 less than Saquon Barkley. Running back is super tight. Number 1 to number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 1 to number 7, the separation is less than a total of 6 points. Wide receiver. Cooper Kupp to Stephon Diggs. It's an advantage of 2.4 points. And then we go again from position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drop-off's a bit more steeper from 1 to 7. Jalen Waddle's at 7 right now is 16.8 a game. And like I was telling you, tight end, 1 to 2, it's about a 4.2 point advantage for Travis Kelsey. From Kelsey to Hawkinson, it's almost 10 points in advantage. Hawkinson's number 3 on the year with 13.1 points.
And that's with one big Hawkinson game, too.
And if you're going from tight end 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, from tight end 1 to tight end 7, Taysom Hill's tight end 7 with 14.7 points per game. That doesn't make sense. That's weird. I digress. David Njoku will be our placeholder for number 7 because Taysom Hill is not real, and I refuse to acknowledge him. It's a 10-point – it's an 11-point advantage in the favor of Travis Kelsey from tight end 1 to tight end 8. That is insane. That is something that you just – it's baked in at this point. Travis Kelsey is not only that good. That's the thing that makes Kelsey special. I know I've been going on about tight ends for the last 10 minutes. But the important
and the
part
thing
about
is,
Travis
too,
Kelsey
is that Mahomes has proven that he can live without Tyreek Hill. His wide receivers aren't putting up fantasy points, but in real life, Patrick Mahomes is just fine. And Kelsey has arguably been number 1 over Tyreek Hill half of the time in these games. So Travis Kelsey is just the dude. And Mark Andrews is the favorite target of Lamar Jackson. And honestly, I wouldn't put him top 5, but for a while there, Dalton Schultz was trying to creep up these rankings. But when Cooper Rush comes in, he doesn't pay attention to Dalton Schultz. But you kind of look at these teams who who's their favorite target, and not a lot of teams' tight ends are their favorite target. But you kind of look at the 3 of Schultz is Prescott's one of favorite targets. The same thing was with Romo and Witten, but Romo had Des Bryant. We don't have Amari Cooper anymore. But then you have Kelsey and Andrews, who are the favorite targets of their quarterback, and they can easily get open because they're just that freaking good.
So the thing with the thing that makes Travis Kelsey so special is, like I said earlier, talent, usage, and quarterback. You have to have all of them. Andy Reid took over as the Kansas City Chiefs head coach in 2013. Subsequently, Travis Kelsey was drafted in 2013. Played in one game his rookie year. And since his rookie year, he has had 60 receptions or more on the season. And since his third year of actually playing snaps, he has had over 80 receptions and at least 1,000 yards. Mahomes didn't start a football game until 2018. And since that's happened, he's had either like 1,200 yards or 8 touchdowns on the year.
And he's being fed by who? Alex Smith at that time, right?
From 2014 until 2018, he was being fed by Alex Smith, or from 2014 to 2017. So through that time, he had 2,000-yard receiving seasons and 3 seasons of at least 5 touchdowns. That is close to elite production. Well, it's not elite production, but it's at least top 5 tight end on the season production.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, maybe we didn't notice because this is the prime era of Gronkowski with Brady, or this is like kind of curtailing off a bit, but this is Gronk, this is Zach Ertz, this is the last renaissance we had at tight end before Kelsey became the alpha.
Yeah.
But he's been this. He's always been this. His career like average reception is 12.7 yards. And that's being drugged down by this year's 10.5. Like, he is as automatic of an option on the perimeter as anybody, including Cooper Kupp. Like, Travis Kelsey is he's matchup proof. To a certain extent, he's probably quarterback proof. This team and this offense were predicated on 2 people based upon the bestowing of Andy Reid. It's Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes. Everything else is tertiary. If Kelsey's covered, Mahomes can hit other people. But if Mahomes finds Kelsey open, he's getting the ball. And his catch percentage is extremely well. It's extremely good. It's 71.1% for his career. He doesn't drop the ball at an alarming rate. He's been all pro 6 years in a row, whether it be the first or second team. Like, he got 4th in offensive player of the year in 2020. Like, it's insane. So
someone's asking about Deon Jackson, about that short I made. We're going back and forth on whether it's Deon Jackson or Gordon because he feels that the Broncos aren't going to run Gordon at the goal line, and that's probably true. But the Colts have this weird thing of Phil Lindsay's going to be the change of pace back, but Deon Jackson's going to be the lead back, but their line is also dog shit. So, and Gordon isn't 100% healthy. It's really weird. Currently, I'm at the point where, like, if you need floor, I would take Gordon. If you want to try and hit a ceiling, it's Deon Jackson. But it's just hard to trust Deon Jackson. I just felt like he was a better start if you, like, were desperate this week. But it just feels like I think people are overthinking Deon Jackson. Like, some people are saying, like, should I start him over ETN? No.
The thing about
ETN's usage is still going up in Jacksonville.
The thing about Melvin Gordon, and for all of his faults, including the fumbles, what we have to acknowledge with Melvin Gordon is this is a guy that is 29 years old on a 1-year contract that last year at 28 years old carried the ball 203 times while splitting with Javonte Williams. He had 918 yards on those 200 carries. He averaged 4.5 yards per carry. He had 2 receiving touchdowns to go with 8 rushing touchdowns. You're starting Melvin Gordon over Deon Jackson. If Melvin Gordon is taking the field as the running back for the Broncos, you have to start him. Everybody was concerned whenever Javonte was healthy because, yes, Javonte was technically more talented and more sound than Melvin Gordon. The Broncos don't have a choice. If the Broncos are going to sit here and say, Mike Boone's the goal line back, they're getting cute with it. Just like they've gotten cute with it the entire year. Look where it's got them.
Right.
I totally get Deon Jackson in certain scenarios. If you have him against a guy, if you have a lot of bye weeks, Damian Pearson, Derrick Henry are out, or if you're choosing over a guy like Eno Benjamin, I still probably go Eno Benjamin over Deon Jackson.
Yeah.
Because the Deon Jackson thing currently is he's relatively unproven. He's given us a week of production in a role where he was thrust into it because Nyheim Hines couldn't stand up. Deon Jackson will get work. Philip Lindsay has proven to be an effective runner. Melvin
It
Gordon's the
feels like to me, and what I just told this guy is that the second Jackson fails, it's Lindsay time because
yeah.
Lindsay has change of pace back. Which what does that mean? What like we have no idea what that means. And like Frank Reich has been weird all year with that kind of thing, and I don't know. Like Gordon is the safe play to me because we know that the passing offense struggled and they're going to have to run the ball because the Chargers do struggle to stop the run a little bit right now. Definitely not as bad as last year, but it's still a little there. Especially is Bosa out this week?
Yeah, he's on. I don't know if he's on IR, but he tweaked his groin. So yeah, Bosa's out. I'm pretty
Both
sure.
Bosas tweaked their groin. Jeez, I hate to see it. Yeah, it's just like if you're starting like
he's on
the
the IR.
backup. Oh, geez. If you're like starting the backup of a two-headed backfield, so if you're starting like Pollard or Madison or Chase Edmonds, like Deon Jackson, I would start those guys over. Like
Well,
I don't want.
You're gonna start Deon Jackson if you rostered Jonathan Taylor, then picked up Nyheim Hines as like, oh shit, Taylor's out.
Right.
Deon Jackson is the ultimate pivot for a player that is highly invested in the Colts running back position.
Yeah.
But there are a myriad of options that are going to be more that will be better for you in the long haul. Like looking at the PPR rankings on Sporting News, obviously, that I've been looking at the last couple of weeks, Deon Jackson is currently ranked 23rd in their rankings. And so
Fantasy Pros has him at 32.
So on Sporting News, he's ahead of guys like CEH, Zeke, and Brees Hall and Najee Harris. I don't know if I'd go that far. Even ETN, I would go over Deon Jackson.
I would start him over Zeke. I would start him over who's the other guy? Najee. I'd probably start him over Najee because Najee is just off the face of the planet right now. But I would not start him over Singletary. I would start him over Devin Singletary.
Well, Singletary's ranked fucking 12th this week. So, no, yeah. The thing with Deon Jackson is you are starting him if you have to, but in the same vein, if you picked up Deon Jackson off of waivers, Darrell Henderson was right there this week. And I would much rather start Darrell Henderson on the Rams this week than Deon Jackson for the Colts. It's just the way that it works. Henderson has proven himself to have a role with this Rams team. He was the back for the entirety of last year and produced at a very high level until Cam Akers came back. So for a 1 week start, there's a lot of options I would take over Deon Jackson. And there are limited scenarios where I would throw him out there because the Jaguars just skunked the Colts like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And yes, the Colts are a better team now than they were that day, hopefully. But I agree. There's a reason why Philip Lindsay is ranked 36th while Deon Jackson is 23rd. There's going to be a lot of variance for this game. Any misstep or flub up is going to lead to one of the guys getting more work.
Yeah. Let's see. What else are we looking at? Wide receivers you're starting your top like 20 every week. It feels like Fantasy Pros has Waddle at 20. So even then, I would start Jalen Waddle this week because I feel I have to because past Waddle is Lazard, Devontae Smith, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin. I was not starting any Washington guy this week. Drake London at 25. Yeah, I guess they are playing the Niners and Mariota sucks, so that's been tough for sure. Deontay Johnson is a weird case because it feels like Kenny Pickett likes Deontay Johnson, but Deontay Johnson doesn't like catching the ball.
Yeah.
So that's a tough part. What else do we got? Romeo Dobbs at 27. Against the Jets, I feel like he could be higher. I don't know. How do you feel about Romeo Dobbs?
I think if you have space on your bench, I'd pick him up. I don't know if I'm starting him weekly.
Yeah. Let's see. Are you starting Cooper Kupp this week? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm benching him. Jerry Jeudy at 30, T. Higgins at 31. I'm not starting T. Higgins this week. I can't. I maybe I'm a little biased after getting burned on Sunday, but I don't think I could start T. Higgins being like that true game time decision. And it was the same thing last week, and the second he irritates it, he's done. I feel like I can't start T. Higgins this week, but his upside is so good. But everyone's healthy on the. I don't know. Are you have some T. Higgins shares, right?
Oh, I have a lot of T. Higgins.
No,
I actually have like one share of T. Higgins. Last year was the year that I was heavy on T. Higgins.
Oh yeah, second year receiver, baby.
Big on the second year receiver, even third year breakouts. So I had a lot of AJ Brown last year. Yeah, no, I think it's tough. Like T. Higgins, if he's going to play, is a must start, just because he's that talented. But I can't advocate wholeheartedly for someone to go out there and throw T. Higgins into their lineup if we're going to have another outcome like last week. It's just really hard to convince me that that's the move.
Yeah, and just it feels like the Bengals are really force feeding Chase right now. Like it feels way too pushed. I don't know. I mean, obviously you start Jamar Chase. It's not particularly close. He's top 5 every week. But I feel like some of the targets are getting even less now for Higgins and Hurst and Boyd because it feels like they are force feeding Chase behind the line. And yeah, that's kind of his thing. He's a great guy after the catch, but it feels like it's Zach. I mean, we talked about on Monday, Zach Taylor's holding the Bengals offense back, but
yeah,
you're kind of just watching that unfold a little bit. Michael Gallup at 43. I really don't want to start Michael Gallup this week, but I sent my buddy bench this week, and my bench and when I'm starting, let's see, I'm starting Michael Gallup. My bench is AJ Dillon, which I have a running back in my flex, so I can't move Gallup out of there. Jonathan Taylor, Michael Thomas, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, and Keenan Allen. I'm starting Michael Gallup this week.
St. Brown's out?
He's on a bye.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
So, yes, he is.
How the turntables.
Oh, man.
That is tough.
Yeah, I'm kind of just stuck with. I mean, I'm starting Ken Walker. I'm starting J.K. Dobbins. I'm starting Deon Jackson because I don't want to start A.J. Dillon right now. I'll probably tell people, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I'm going to start Deon Jackson over A.J. Dillon, but I don't know if I could tell people to start Deon Jackson over A.J. Dillon. I feel like I'm taking a risk, but the Packers abandoned the run last week, and who am I to think they'll just do that again?
Yeah, I get you. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do in this league in Yahoo that I'm in. Because my running backs are absolutely fucked right now. I'm tempted to drop somebody in favor of picking up. So I'm going to drop Kareem Hunt, but I'm thinking of picking up somebody else. Ramandre Stevenson and Kenneth Walker are available in this league. This is like a dumb league for fun. It's got like 8 teams. So
why not start both of them?
Well, I just picked up Darrell Henderson off of waivers as well.
I feel like I would start Stevenson and Walker over Henderson.
Let's see. I will drop Kareem Hunt. It hurts. Where is Kareem Hunt? Here he is.
Get out of here, Kareem Hunt.
Goodbye, sweet prince. Yeah, Bob Stevenson's a guy. And then Jalen Waddle. You've been demoted to my bench.
Yeah, Harris is officially
Even then, I've bet on Stevenson to become the guy there.
Oh, well, yeah, especially if Harris was playing hurt at the same time.
Yeah.
If Harris was 100% healthy, I'd feel weird about it because Bill Belichick doesn't make sense when it comes to running backs. But, yeah, I'm slamming Stevenson this week. I don't have any shares, but I'll tell people to.
This team, I'm currently fucking 2-3, which sucks. And I'll read you the roster. It's Kyler Murray, A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, Austin Eckler. Now I have Darrell Henderson, David Njoku, Bob Stevenson. Bench, Dawson Knox, DeAndre Swift, Cortland Sutton, Mike Thomas, Russell Wilson, DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Waddle, and Eli Mitchell on IR. And But yeah, so I dropped ETN for Darrell Henderson, and I dropped
You dropped ETN for it. I don't think I'll ever hear that sentence uttered again.
Hey man, I've seen Henderson do it, and he's now the guy out there.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, if he really flops this week, I don't think anyone's going to pick up Kenneth Walker because it's not a super deep league. If somebody did pick him up, I could probably get ETN again. I've added and dropped him twice so far this season.
I feel like Ken Walker's going to shred Arizona. I feel like that's going to be a shootout too, the way Geno's been playing.
The thing about Darrell Henderson is if Cam Akers is just not going to be playing and they're going to trade him, Henderson's been the guy. Henderson will continue to be the guy. The next best running back, I think Kyron Williams is currently hurt. And Ken Walker still has to contend with the likes of DJ Dallas and Travis Homer. I don't think Ken Walker's just getting the keys immediately. He's the best player. He
should, though.
He's the best player on the roster running back. Like, there's a reason why they took him in the second round. But I think the work isn't just going to be like force feeding the guy. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. Ben Skoranek ranked 60.
Can Deandre Swift just, come back and be healthy?
Be healthy, yeah.
I love Swift.
Maybe after the bye.
He should be back after the bye. I would be very surprised if he wasn't. He's only fumbled twice in his career, and that was his rookie year.
Jeez.
Give him 200 carries, please. He's only at his career highs 151, and he's averaging 77 yards a game. He's averaging 8.6 yards per carry this year. Yo.
I mean, he was on the number one offense. They were tearing it up on offense.
He's averaging 10 yards a reception. Get this guy on the field. He's like a top 5 back, man. I will die on this hill. DeAndre Swift is one of the best running backs in football.
Start DeAndre Swift this week.
If you're facing me, go ahead.
I think all my lineups are good to go. I'm healthy across the board. Our team is all right.
Our team is doing the thing.
Yeah, Dawson Knox is healthy. We're starting Dawson Knox and Taysom Hill and Devin Singletary and Devin Duvernay. So here we go. Let's just go. Maybe Matt Gay can hit a field goal this week. San Francisco defense is going against Atlanta. That feels pretty good. Jake is starting Jacksonville against Indy. That feels interesting.
He's starting Kenny Pickett against Tampa Bay. So I think we're clearing in quarterback.
He took out Pickett for Cooper Rush. I mean, in neither matchup. None of his quarterback matchups are good, to be honest.
No, he has Pickett starting right now.
He has
4 quarterbacks?
Yeah, he hunted quarterback. I think he's just mixing and matching every week because he had Cooper Rush in there almost all week. But now he's starting Kenny Pickett.
Our Daniel Jones pick is actually looking kind of decent.
Yes.
Like a spot start, I'm not gonna hate on it. It's actually not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, we checked out his matchups like that draft and took him. So
Seattle and Jacksonville, if I'm correct.
I think so. Let's see. Murray's bye is 13. That's when I think that's when Daniel Jones plays Seattle. No, Washington. He plays Washington during Murray's bye. And then I think Mahomes is coming up. I think Mahomes is week 9. So week 8. Daniel Jones plays Seattle. So Seattle and Washington.
Third most points per game to opposing signal callers. I'm going Kirk Cousins.
100%.
Cardinals blitz it. So the longest streak of his career. Smith is flirting with fantasy starting value. If Geno goes, Higgins or Pickens.
Fuck. Well, I'm gonna get real. This one out of the way. Hurst. I would not start Dalton Schultz this week with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Dalton Schultz does not exist, so I would slam Hayden Hurst over Dalton Schultz. So that one, I think that one's a slam for me. Higgins or Pickett or Pickens.
Higgins is healthy. He's active.
Is he though? That's my problem.
So he's considered a game time decision leading up to Sunday after managing just one limited practice this week due to ankle injury he aggravated in the Bengals October 9th loss
So
to the Ravens.
hear me out. Against Buffalo, George Pickens saw 8 targets, 6 receptions for 83 yards.
Okay, I'm looking at him real quick. Oh. It's back-to-back weeks of 8 targets. If you're not confident in Higgins, because the worst thing is telling somebody to start somebody and then health getting in the way. Shit happened last week whenever we were like Jalen Waddle smashed the start, and then Skylar Thompson was throwing balls at like 14 minutes left in the
we said
quarter.
Waddle over Evans, and we were like, "Fuck, Teddy died the first play of the game." I think I'm gonna go Pickens, and Hurst is the easy one for me. I like Cowboys fan. Cooper Rush just flat out doesn't look at Dalton Schultz, so it's Hurst for sure. I know Hurst is a little hurt, but he is active, so I would start Hayden Hurst. I'm gonna say George Pickens. Pickens is gonna get. Man, this is gonna be a sentence. Pickens is going to get Pickett targets.
Pickett does like Pickens, and I do think he's probably going to get the easier matchup whenever the corners are covering. T. Higgins is dealing with the ankle issue. He aggravated it last Sunday. He's a true game time decision. Give me Pickens and give me Hurst. And it also helps diversify because if you're betting on Higgins not playing today or playing in a limited capacity, Hurst should have a bigger night.
So yeah, Pickens and Schultz. Hi, Sam. Full PPR, Robinson, Dillon, or ETN. So
Dillon and ETN for me. It's Dillon and ETN.
I would say James Robinson.
Full PPR, you're looking at it this way. Or you could just say, if your receivers are super strong and you say, fuck it, you could go Robinson and ETN. The Colts have been owned by this Jacksonville unit. But I don't want to start a lineup where I'm having 2 running backs that are just standard machines. It's like having Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry, but like in the worst way possible. Because if you have Chubb and Henry, you're starting them every week because they're studs.
Right.
Robinson is a question mark currently. He's had – so let me just look up Robinson's output because he started out shot out of a cannon. We can't argue against that.
Well, the thing is his snap percentage has gone down every week. So
just go on Sleeper and look at him.
Yeah, so 63% in week 2, and he's all the way down to 40% last week against Houston. And Doug Peterson already came out and said he should have ran the ball more last week. I think he's going to run the ball more. ETN has been carving dudes up. So I think we both agree here. It's AJ Dillon and Travis Etienne.
Big thing with this one, James Robinson, he had first 3 weeks, 19, 15, 20. Back-to-back weeks, he's had less than 50% of the snaps, scored less than 2 points in week 4, and scored less than 6 in week 5. We're going to look at Travis Etienne real quick to gauge what's going on.
Pull up for me Etienne's targets because Robinson's targets are 2, 2, 3, 0, 2.
Etienne's getting 3 per week. He's getting on average. His worst week, he had 1 target. That's whenever he scored 3 points against Philadelphia. Nothing was happening. He's out snapping James Robinson marginally. He's got 51%, back-to-back weeks of under 50. Last 2 weeks, 51 and 53%. His snap share is growing. He averaged 7 yards a carry last week on 10 carries. He had 5 targets, 3 receptions, 43 yards. If it's full PPR, he's giving you the upside you're not going to get out of Robinson. And A.J. Dillon, for as big of a bruising back as he is, we know he has a definitive role in this offense because of no Devontae Adams. And
it's hard to go off of last week, but I still won't pick James Robinson over A.J. Dillon.
Well, the thing that we're talking about with James Robinson is A.J. Dillon, his ceiling isn't as high as James Robinson just because of the role on his team. Aaron Jones is a better player at this point. But Dillon is younger. Dillon is a guy that they're going to use. He's 6 foot 250. He's a fucking wrecking ball. And he's getting targets. He had 6 targets in week 1 and then followed that up with back-to-back weeks of 3 targets. A point per reception is huge, and A.J. Dillon is more in line to get you a point per reception than James Robinson is. Yeah. And to bench ETN in a PPR league over those two, he could easily get outscored based upon rushing production, but Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence have chemistry. Doug Peterson plays talent. For me, it's just starting two more standard running backs over a guy that's going to give you PPR upside just doesn't work. And going Robinson and Etienne, if there's a big day on the ground for Jacksonville, you win. But if there's any faltering, you're going to get burnt both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely bench Robinson there for sure. Like, Robinson is a talented back, don't get me wrong, but he's put up 0.9 against Philly, 5.9 against Houston, and he scored a touchdown 3 straight weeks, and so if he feels like just touchdown dependent at this point.
He's not efficient is the problem. You look at Robinson, his yards per carry have tanked. He averaged 6 yards per carry week 1, less than 3 week 2, 6 again week 4, less than 4, less than 3. And then we look at ETN. Because ETN in limited touches is just more efficient. He averaged 12 yards a carry week 1. He only had 4 carries. I digress. Average less than 3, less than 4. Last 2 weeks, 4 yards and 7.1 yards per carry. AJ Dillon, in comparison to the rest of them. AJ Dillon's had more weeks of over 4 yards per carry than either of them. He's only had 1 week where he was less than 3, 1 week where he was less than 4. If you're starting a guy and you can't guarantee 20 carries, you go with efficiency. Because per touch, if they're going to be able to give you more at that position, you just have to go with it. It's just the way that works. So yeah, 100% ETN and AJ Dillon.
I just keep looking at our lineup like we're actually going to make changes, but we're not going to.
Honestly, all the changes that I could have made have officially gone through my head and left.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Let's see, 10 minutes before kickoff. Let's see.
Harrison Butker's available in the
I think Harrison Butker's available in a decent amount of leagues because nobody really wants to sit their kicker, hold on to a kicker.
Well, you want to add him?
Oh, in our league?
In the deep league. We do have Matt Gay.
Are we starting him over Matt Gay, though?
No. Let's see if I can add him anywhere, actually. Let's get cheeky. Because I won't draft Harrison Butker, but I will gladly start him.
That's fair. Let me see. Is he available in my work? Because I'm starting Koo, and I don't know if I want to start Koo now. He is. I can start Butker over Koo. Sure. Let's get it. Harrison Butker. All right, it's one league. What's this league? This league has Nick Folk. I think somebody picked up Butker already.
Yeah, I don't think Butker's available in any of my leagues, which is a bummer.
He's not available in this league. And then Daniel Carlson in my other league.
Tyler Bass is available in this league? What the hell?
Oh, Marcus Graham Geno. Okay, I just realized I said out loud that I got Harrison Butker. Oh wait, all right, I got Daniel Carlson. I'm like, oh wait, he's on a bye. Couldn't remember if I replaced him or not.
Can I upgrade kicker in this league, please? I have a 5-0 team. Look at that. Didn't realize that this team should be 5-0. It's the redeemed team.
You're damn right. It's 5-0.
Man, cowards should have just let Butker sit on waivers for me. Greg the Leg, what a man.
Gregory the Leggery.
Exactly.
Legatron.
Tyler Bass, welcome to the team, buddy. I have faith in you.
Surprised he was on waivers. Is that like a...
It's like a 16 league. Yeah, I'm 2-3 in this league too, which sucks. It's ass. I can't get healthy. The team I drafted was disgusting. And then Darren Waller said, yeah, I'm not playing football this year. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
You ready for this? I am starting at running back. Leonard Fournette, Deon Jackson, and my 2 flex spots are Jeff Wilson and Benjamin.
Jesus Christ. This league that I'm in right here, I've got Mahomes, Kirk, Kamara, Barkley, Debo, Godwin, Higbee, Duvernay, Broncos defense, and I need to fix that. What defense can I add? Tell me there's someone. Oh, Eagles defense. Cool.
Yeah, I would do that.
Fucking sick. Yes.
Even if Dallas wins, they're not going to win by a lot. So
I don't know why they were just sitting there. Brandon McManus. Can I upgrade you, please? Kickers.
Do I want to start the Rams against PJ Walker?
Damn it, dude. There's not any good kickers. Ryan Suckup is 5th in fantasy points kicker.
I mean, Tampa Bay just hasn't been able to score touchdowns. At least Suckup's been kicking a lot.
Huh.
I'm not surprised in the slightest that Suckup is top 5.
I guess I'm just gonna add him. Fuck it.
I mean, yeah, you literally just want the kickers that are on the offenses that's all the most.
Because McManus is like 11th, and it's like their offense is far less efficient. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That worked.
Only
this
other
league
option is Brissett.
This league, I'm chilling. I've got Eagles defense and Jake Elliott, so I'm chilling there. Ravens defense, you say? Their ass.
I feel like I almost want to tell this guy to start Jacoby Brissett over Deon Jackson and Melvin Gordon. Brissett against the Patriots doesn't feel terrible.
Wait, who's he starting Brissett over?
Deon Jackson and Melvin Gordon.
Is it a super flex or what?
It sounds like if they're offering up Brissett.
Well, yeah. If you're in a super flex league, you're going to start. Yeah, you have to start whoever's coming out. If it's super flex and you're not starting a quarterback in your super flex spot, then what are you doing?
It's got 5 minutes before kickoff. Put in Brissett, quick.
I just had an open bench spot in that league. Cool. Didn't
Don't
realize
you love that?
I have too many leagues, man. Defense. I can get the Eagles defense in this league as well. This Eagles defense is the real shit too.
Yeah, Slay's locking down. Slay's going to be all over CD all night. It's going to be up to Noah Brown and the running game to beat the Eagles and defense, obviously.
So nobody's hurt in these leagues. Gerald Everett's Monday, so if Higbee can't go, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Higbee's questionable?
Yeah, he is.
Interesting.
Sadly. Starting Gerald Everett in that league because Irv Smith is a traitor. Kyler's getting the start.
Actually questionable too, which is kind of funny.
Is there a player I can add over Joshua Palmer that I'm comfortable with? Not at all. Sweet. Sky Moore? No thanks.
What's wrong with Sky Moore?
What's right with him is the question.
True.
Marquez Callaway, big weekend coming.
It's Taysom Hill week. Are you kidding me?
Tell me I'm projected to win this matchup. Oh.
Higgins, Judy, London, Waddle start 2.
I hate this question a lot. I'm not starting any receiver on the Broncos besides Cortland Sutton reluctantly, and even in the leagues where I have him, I'm not starting him. London and Waddle.
Higgins and Waddle.
At this point, if Higgins, because we just said don't start. We just had Pickens over Higgins in one of our last starts.
Right, but Drake London is going up against the San Francisco defense, and Marcus Mariota is quarterback. No shot. I'm starting London. I know I told somebody else to Higgins over Pickens, but Pickens is way better in a situation than London is. I would go. I'm going Higgins and Waddle. I'm not starting Judy because Russ sucks, and I'm not starting London because his whole offense sucks.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they're going up against literally a top 3 defense. So I'm going Higgins and Waddle. Since
granted, I'm starting Higgins over like most receivers any given week. T. Higgins is absolutely insane. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I would go Higgins and Waddle.
Yeah,
I don't like either of them due to their situations, whether it be quarterback or their own injury luck. But out of the 4, it's the easy picks.
Yeah. Higgins is hurt. Higgins is hurt. Judy's quarterback sucks. London's
Godwin.
Edwards. They're starting Lenny and Mike Evans. It's Godwin. Who's everybody playing? The Steelers. The Steelers are beating to hell on defense. You destroyed.
If you need evidence for why you're starting Godwin with Mike Evans and Leonard Fournette, you look at the Bills versus the Steelers last week, where Gabe Davis had 30 points and Stephon Diggs followed him up with another 20. All you need from Leonard Fournette at that point is 10, 15 points, if that. Yeah. And the thing is, this is a game where I'm fine getting as much real estate in this matchup as I humanly can. Mm-hmm. Brady is probably looking to come out swinging with his whatever he's got going on in his life. Like, this is a game that Brady has to be on, because if the Bucs drop to the Steelers, I don't know what to tell you. It's not.
I don't mean to compare Tom Brady to Josh Allen at their current states, but if Josh Allen can do that to the Steelers defense, and the Steelers defense is beat up even more than last week, then yeah, I'm okay with starting as many Tampa Bay, or starting their 2 top wideouts and their starting running back. Completely okay with starting. Sutton's going to get points for sure, but J.C. Jackson is 1 week here, and he's going to be all over Sutton most likely. So yeah, I would slam Godwin there. I'm starting Godwin everywhere I got him, and that's like 1 league, but there were 2 leagues. Got him in 2 leagues, but yeah, Sutton's Godwin for sure.
Yeah, smash Godwin. That dude's everywhere I have him. He's in my lineups. Chris Godwin he's the number 1 in my opinion in Tampa Bay. Like, Evans will have this roughly the same receiving yards and probably more touchdowns at the end of the year, but reception wise, I think Godwin's going to total out as the top guy in that offense. Brady loves Godwin. There's a reason why they gave him that 4-year extension.
I'm going to snip all these questions and look at them later, see how we did. I'm curious. I'm always curious.
Yeah. Well, lineups are locked. It's 10 a.m. Damn. Good thing all my lineups have been set since like 9 a.m.
Yeah, so I think with that, unless anyone has some 1 o'clock questions, but we'll be on Twitter for that. Appreciate y'all checking in on us as we play the guessing game that is fantasy football.
Let's see.
Devin, good luck in all your matchups since we're not playing each other this week. We had the Higgins and Waller.
I don't even like talking about the Higgins Waller debacle. That shit makes me sad.
That was the funniest thing, because I was like, oh, I should just bench Higgins and cause some chaos. Like, no, it's fine. And then Waller was like, it's okay. I'll do it myself.
I'll bench myself. That was the worst beat in the world. Man, I need a win in your cousin's league, or else I'm just gonna start making it real uncomfortable for everybody.
Put everyone on the trade block like I did and see what offers you get.
I'll just drop my best player and see who has enough fab to get him.
All right.
I dropped Deandre Swift, and I messaged your cousin. Don't you feel foolish for dropping $100 on Kenneth Walker?
Trade him for Curtis Samuel.
Hey, dude, ball knows ball.
All right, everyone. Good luck in your matchups this week. Thanks for checking in with us. We'll be here tomorrow at 6:30 Pacific time, PM. Recapping the whole week, watching a little Monday Night Football. Devin, got anything else?
Hey, man, appreciate everybody for stopping in. If the picks are great, we told you so. If they're bad, shit happens. But we look forward to providing you guys some more start-sit decisions, and hopefully our hits are greater than our misses. But that's about it from us. So until next time, guys. Peace.